Yo, 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 yo. How is everyone doing today? All right, stream is started. We're gonna get going. There we go. I was going to do it in a different way, but I feel bad for the people that can't access the pro group. So let's continue the way it is and see if we can go from there. One question I have is the sound okay? Is it because I adjusted a few things on my sound to see what it's going like. If you guys could share it into the pro group as well or into the Telegram, that would be very much appreciated. In fact, let me try and do that now. Let me try and share this to everyone. 1 second. All right. Right. All right. So that goes there. All right. There we go. All right. Cool. Right. So today, what we're going to be looking at and what we're going to be doing is going to be somewhat slightly different, right? We need to find a place where we can settle, where we can actually get to a not TikTok. Yeah, I'm not on TikTok. Forget TikTok. Honestly, right now TikTok is just it's a toxic space that just brings me hate at the moment. So I don't really want to be on there, even though I'm giving everything. I mean, it's incredible, but whatever. It's all good. It's all good. The amount of hate I've got in the past 3 days is more than I've ever. It's like I've done something to them. It's amazing. If you don't like me, then don't watch me. I don't get it. It's unbelievable. It's out of this world. The amount of hate that I got is. You saw on the X post the amount, and I kind of feel it's making me kind of feel that it's like these scammer alt accounts that are doing it. It's giving me this vibe right now, and the type of sentiment that I'm getting. It gives me this understanding that it's coming from these copycat accounts that are just spoiling my name. I think that's what I'm getting from it. Genuinely, it's weird. It's a strange thing. Anyway, look, people on the X, if you guys could retweet it, it would be very much appreciated. Get some new people in here. If not, I'm gonna be very short and sweet and to the point, and so I can get from this and have a have a have a have a cool off over the weekend. No, TikTok is still not there. I've been talking to the TikTok team. Well, actually, my agency has, and they are hitting a wall at the moment. It's coming from a hacker. A hacker is the one that did it. Is the one that took my thing. That it's the same one that took down a whole bunch of other guys, and TikTok just doesn't care. So yeah, what I will say to everyone as well when we're here is I'm going to be. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? Let me see if I can do this. I'll keep this here for the time being, so we can actually keep it there. I'm going to be doing all my videos and everything else like that on my Insta, right? So if you guys want to understand my Instagram, in fact, is this it? Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. All right, just gotta download this. Let me just download this. I'm gonna do it on my Instagram, so we can so I can actually. Can I put this here? No. Okay, that worked. That's so stupid. You know when something catastrophic, like catastrophic failure. That was a new one. I haven't felt that one before. Things are going a bit weird today. Anyway, whatever. It's so good. So yeah. So we're gonna be talking about a different topic right now, because where we're sitting at this present moment, and I'll start with this in a very quick second. Let me just get this up so I can put this onto the screen. There we go. All right. There we go. So people can see it now. There we go. All right. What we're going to be talking about today is to have an understanding of what's going to be happening next in this market, because we're having a pullback. We're having quite an aggressive pullback due to various other factors and issues that are going on in the market, liquidity issues, Japan issues, rate issues, all this kind of stuff, right? But the amount of selling that's going on right now is beyond what is normal. Everything is so oversold. It is out of this world. I mean, the level that I drew the other day, when we were on live, it hit it almost perfectly to the T. It hit it right. Now, if we can gain acceptance above the 85,000, I think we could be in a good position to see where we're really going in this market. But I'll say this, right? There's going to be a point. There's going to be a point where this has a counter rally, right? A point where the market is going to find a place where, you know how, okay, let me explain it this way. You know how we get constant good news, right? We get constant good news, but at the same time, we're not really pumping, right? We're not actually accepting that pump. But I'll say this. As negative news didn't give any type of positive movement in the market, so will it be the other way around. Right now, in this present moment where we're sitting, we have to understand that one of two things that can provide some form of positivity into the market will cause what I will describe as the counter rally, right? An equal and opposite force to what's happening right now, because everything is so oversold. I mean, if we look at the skew of the short to longs, it is on another planet right now. Like, look at the skew. Look at the skew between the two. What is that? What is that? 5%. There's a 5% skew to the short. And that is something that is not sustainable. There will be a point, and this point I still think it's going to be around the December time, right? I don't want to make predictions anymore because people just throw massive hate at me as if like I'm a full-blown soothsayer, that I know how everything in the world works, right? Like that's if like I know when the Fed is going to cut or not, or when jobs reports are going to be favorable or not. Everything in this world says that the job creation and unemployment is out of whack, but the data doesn't say that. So I guess that's it, right? The market reacts towards that rather than what's happening in the market. But I'll say this, and this is why it's super duper important to understand what's happening right now, is that if there is positive news in one of two sectors, right? One, if there is positive news coming from Japan, if there is some form of control that will happen over interest rates, or if there is a announcement that they're definitely not going to raise interest rates, if there's some form of support or balance or growth or something that can point towards a counter deterioration of of the yuan, of the banking sector, of the carry trade, all of that stuff, this market will rally like nothing you've ever seen. Furthermore, if we get something in the level where we get the Fed stating something like, I don't know, a more a direction towards a rate cut happening, a form of either QT going in or something, a stimulus check, something that is going to bring some level of liquidity into the market. If something like that comes across, then that will also cause this rally, because people are, everything is so oversold at this moment that any catalyst, any real proper catalyst, Albert, why not TikTok? It's just the hate. I can't deal with the hate at the moment, so I'm just gonna leave it for people who actually care, and rather than sit there and just eat their chips and throw abuse at me. Um, any type of positive catalyst that's going to be coming in, right? Anything on that level. Also, you guys follow me on Instagram. I'm gonna be putting all my updates there. Haters will hate. We know you're legit. You're doing a fantastic job, right? Now you don't have to say any of that kind of stuff, right? At this point, seems like no, but it's the right type of good news. You said at this point seems that even good news moves us down. It's the right type of good news that's important. It's not speculative, maybe in the future type of stuff that we're talking about. We have to get to a point where there is an actual understanding of this is happening. There is this is changing. There needs to be that catalyst that, and now this is where I want everyone to listen to what I'm saying so they don't get angry later on, right? Because it annoyed me the other day because I was talking about all this kind of stuff or whatever. I'm needing everyone to listen to what I'm going to say, right? At this present moment, and I'm looking on the weekly now, we have to look at longer term scale, right? We have to either get above 100,000. Let's just gone down a little bit. 99,580, right? 99,580, or we're going into a further aggressive pullback. I'm going to repeat this again, so there isn't anything that, oh, but you did, but I'm saying it again. Either we rally to above 99,600, 500 level, above the 55-day moving average on the weekly, and we have 2 days to do it. 2 days to do it, right? Okay, let me be more precise. If in the next 2 days we closed the weekly candle above the 55-day moving average, we're going above 130, 140,000. That's intact. I would bet my bottom dollar on that. If we can't do that, we have then got into a state where we've had the third weekly close in a red candle, which will mean that this, unfortunately, for what we could be described in a period of time, will be bearish sentiment movement. But I will say this, right? There is going to be a point, and you guys have to be extremely quick with this. Extreme. You see how the trades in the pro group are like, when it's put in there, you have to go. It's like 10, 20, 30 seconds. Otherwise, you miss the entry point and you miss that move. People made insane money today. Crazy money today. Someone made 10,000%. Like, it's incredible. Leonard, you're amazing, right? You're out of this world. So you have to be at that level, right? Unfortunately, world news events all seem negative or hard to see the light. But that's the perfect moment, American George. This is exactly the way it is. It's the way that you always hear positive news, and then you're like, there's no way I can see this going down. Everything's positive, and then there's something happens that pulls it back. We're in the opposite end of this right now. There will be, okay, there's still a chance that none of this happens. No positive news happens, and then we will nuke down. I just don't see that happening, right? I just don't see it happening, but there is a possibility that it can happen. I'm laying it out because people can't read between the lines and people show me hate, right? It's in that manner. What's the X at? Did people share the X? Do we have people watching on the X? Can we get people on X to share this post, please? Look, there's 80 people viewing. If can I get at least 10 shares? I'm watching it before I go forward. Can I get 10 shares of this live, please? I'm not asking a lot from a lot of people. I'm giving this stuff even though I get monstrous hate for just giving my opinion. But again, this is my opinion. You can do what you want. You guys know better than anyone else. In fact, I'm learning from you guys rather than the other way around. Just listen to just that, please. Whatever. But there's 80 people watching on X. If you guys can retweet that would be very much appreciated. I'm not asking a lot. I'm not. Like, it would be very, very kind if you can do that. Let me see if anyone's done it. Okay, cool. 8 people did it. Nice. It's very kind of you guys, right? Now, this is where we are. This is the situation. So I'm giving you the 4 scenarios of what can happen. And you have to be laser focused. I just want everyone to really understand this. I want everyone to be very, very cautious and understand what I'm going here. There's 87 people on X. I know. There should be like, 300-400, but I'm not on TikTok, so people don't know I'm bored, so to hate at me. Now, I want everyone to be laser focused on this. Scenario 1. By Sunday, we get a mega pump, like world-class, like world-ending pump, where it means that we settle above the 50, above 100,000. Let's say 100,000, right? We sit above 100,000, we retrace above 100,000, and then it's on. It's on like Donkey Kong. Like we are full porting to 130,000, 140,000 Bitcoin, right? Because that's the only way I see alts moving at this present moment. There is real bad sentiment in the market. The issue is I'm not seeing the liquidity in the market right now and that risk on the aspect to be able to go into these type of assets. So I'm saying that's the lowest percentage chance of that happening. Second is that we find a bottom somewhere, right? Where we find and it could be this level, right? This 80,100 level could be that. I said the absolute minimum would be the 75, 74 between that zone there, right? If we can retrace and find a counter trend, right, which is an opposite of this, between these two values, between the 81,000 to the 74,000 area, then we will get what we will describe as a counter rally run, which will have two things. Either we go and go up to what is the 55-day EMA, right? Settle around here, around the 100,000 level. And what happens here is going to dictate whether we go into what will be described as a longer term bearish movement or we go into a full-blown blow off top. If we can break this $100,000 level, we are going off for full blow off top scenario. This doesn't mean a small little candle and then a wick back down. It has to stay there and level off above that 100,000 level. It's extremely important that happens. Why is this so small? Huh, that's weird. Anyway, so it has to be and confirm. So let me zoom into here. You'll need to see something like this. Let me get rid of this. Right. You'll need to see something like this happen, right? You'll need to see this either come and settle here, break, and then find support on this 100,000 level, right? I think we will have a dead cap situation. I'm getting there, right? That will be the only way I see this going up. Now, if we don't do that, at this point here will be your final way, if you want to. You are live on YouTube, yeah. If you wanted to, if you feel like, okay, I'm out and I don't want to deal with this anymore, will be the moment where you can get out of all of your things, right? If you want to, you know better. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just a person talking on a screen. You do not listen to what I'm saying. In fact, you guys are crazy for listening to what I'm saying, right? Just making sure that everyone's out there so people don't get like I'm telling them what to do. This is what you would do, because if this rejects, I'm like at full blown certain we will retrace back down to the 200-day EMA, to the 65, 66 level. Because if we look on this on the largest time scale, right? We see that what could be described as bear market bottoms, right? Usually settle around this 200-day EMA, and I think it could come there and tap that area. But I will say, if people want to actually play all of these moves, right? If people want to like trade them and you feel like you want to trade, I would highly recommend you guys check out the pro group. You don't need to join Even if you do, you don't need to take any of the trades. I need to make sure, and I need to say it this way because people don't seem to understand that. You don't have to do any of the trades. You don't have to do anything out that, but you can. Everyone who's in there can testify to how much and how good the trades are in there. It's not like rapid fire trades. They're well calculated, well adjusted, well understanding type of trades that are in there. So when it's done in a way that people can actually benefit, and it's not for the benefit of anyone else other than the people in there. I need everyone to understand that as well, right? It's not like I'm making anything from it. In fact, the cost of the thing is barely paying people that's in there. I don't make anything from it, even if though people think that I'm this type of person. Now, where I am, what I'm saying at this present moment right now, is that's that situation right now. But I would say this, right? If you want to be in a scenario where you can actually gain from this, we're in a scenario right now where people can definitely gain from this scenario, right? If you have some dry powder on the side, a short from here all the way down to the 200-day EMA will be monstrous. Your gains, if Bitcoin does that type of drop, and I'm going to also get to some other points, and I want to, which is a 34% drop, alt will go 60, 70, 80%. If you do a 10, 20x leverage on that short, you will be making unbelievable amounts of return if you can time it right. And I'm saying that's not what's going to happen. I'm not saying you should do that. I'm not saying any of these things. I'm just saying there's opportunity still out there. If all of this, I'm talking about the bad worst case scenario. If all this happens and comes down here, and over a period of time, we get this small bleed down to this area here, right? And the reason why I'm saying around this area is because that's been the definition point of a lot of these bear runs, especially if you look on these levels here. It's like the area where Bitcoin has always been super oversold, and we can play around with those levels. Now, what I will say also, that's the trick, timing, right? Timing is everything. But I will say this as well. And I want, if there's one thing you guys are going to take away from this live, because I'm not going to go on too long, because I'm like, it yesterday and the day before that, it really bothered me, because I got 100 messages, like full-blown hate, like hate that I haven't gotten before, like on another level. I've never seen anything like it. It's like as if I've like scammed people. It's wild, right? I'm the bearer of all of that hate that was coming my way. Especially when some guy on X saying that I took his money and I'm like, what are you talking about? Anyway, whatever, right? And he wouldn't explain. What I'm saying is this. Money is made in bear markets. Please understand what I'm saying with this. If Bitcoin gets to this area here, and I expect this, whatever, if we do get there, because a lot of things can change on a dime. If all of a sudden rate cuts are happening, Japan sorts itself out, and Donald Trump wants to do a $2,000 stimulus check, and it goes through in the next month, all of this will change. We will be on full-blown 150, 200,000 Bitcoin. I'm not joking. Everything will change. But right now, the market is struggling. Right now, the liquidity is struggling. There's all these problems that seem like they're not surmountable, but there will be a point where these will be surmounted. And if Bitcoin gets down in here and these altcoins bottom out, all of the people that made extreme amounts of return made it down here. And this was the bear run. And this bear run, and I'll say this to you guys as well, May is the maximum I expect this to be. May is when Powell's changing. May is when all of the person that's going to be coming in is going to be working with the government. May is probably by the time these tariffs are sorted out. May will most probably be about the time where these stimulus checks and a whole bunch of stuff can sort itself out. at that time, and funny enough, it's coming into the exact moment of when some of the largest crypto conferences are out in the world. And I'll tell you one little insider tip, right? When you have some of the biggest conferences out there, they like to make sure that the market looks good. So all their market makers will be fueling in liquidity into the market. Now, I give these type of insider understandings, but I'm just saying, and by the time that I will say by this as well, these are not guarantees. These are not things that you should do. Nothing on this of what I'm saying is something that is a 100% guarantee or understanding or my advice or anything on that level. Just making sure that this is clear, because people just seem to think that I'm like, you know, crypto Jesus. There are other people on TikTok that are like that, right? That's not me. I'm just giving you my opinion and what I've done throughout my life, and it's worked well for me. So this is where we are at this present moment. One other thing that I want to say, right, is that I've been looking closer into MicroStrategy, right, which is in essence a hedge against Bitcoin. And I'll say this, right, and this is the slightly worrying part of this. If we just take this as if this was Bitcoin, it has broken what we would describe right now. Hell, Jesus. Although JD would be worse. Oh, I don't know. If we compare the two together on this panel here, this level, what you see here, is this level, is the $75,000 level. So technically, MicroStrategy has already broken that level, which means that they're a hedge of, because they're a hedge of Bitcoin. So we have to be cautious here. We could, and I'm not saying we can't. We could get the real breakdown into this 65,000 level if everything goes bad. If everything goes absolutely terrible. But I will say this again: if you look at MicroStrategy, previous time, right? We've the last time this happened, there was the last time this this bear run was over, we got what this point here. Look, where did my circle go? Where did the circle go? Okay. What? Where did? No, that's emoji. Where did? Anyway, circle. If you look at this point here, right? If you look at this point here, it's very, very similar to the way that this thing. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong time. Let's look at the weekly, right? This jump back up, right? This jump back up is something that I expect MicroStrategy to also do, which will most probably come up and tap the bottom of this 235 area. We need to be careful of what this happens, and this against Bitcoin as we sit here is something that I expect to happen. If we do not get some form of positive news in those two areas, which are liquidity areas, either rate cuts or Japan or stimulus or QT, something that is affecting liquidity, then this thing could very well go back all the way down to the 200-day EMA. Easily go down to that. Very, very possible for that to actually happen. And I think by that time, yeah, there we go. Very easily. In fact, it's more of a box than a line. Let me just get rid of this. By the way, are people enjoying the pro group? Can I get some like understanding if it actually is beneficial to anyone? There we go. Oh, there we go. Why are you being stupido? Heck yeah, love it. Okay, cool, fantastic. Leonard, you're making some unbelievable gains. Yeah, you're on a different planet, man. That's why I'm gonna open up that chat group, because they need to get your insight. If it goes to 200 EMA, is that considered full? If it goes there, then I would expect a monster bounce from there, and I would say more of a consolidation sit, and it will just chop like this for the next 6 months or so. But that means that you would be in a perfect position. I mean, I can't actually explain to you, right? You know, there's a really famous saying in trading, right? Okay, there's a really famous saying in trading where they say this, right? They say this. Bears will be bears and they can be right sometimes, but bulls always make the money, right? I need you to keep that in your mind. There are moments where bears can be geniuses. They look like they predicted the world, that they are right, they're incredible, they know exactly what's going on. This is it. You know, I know I told you for 6 months, 9 months, 20 months. Yeah, but for 20 months you didn't make money, right? For 20 months you could have traded that. To 20 months you would have missed all of this run because you thought we were in bear. Every dip was a bear, and finally something came wrong, and you think that's the case. And because what happens is that there'll be a moment, and it's happened to all of you guys as well, where you'll see, oh, there's a bounce. Oh, it's going up. Oh, I haven't bought. Oh, and it'll get to a point here, and at this point, the 100,000 level, you everyone be like, okay, all right, we're at that stage. We'll blow off top. I'll buy then, and that's when they will lose money. This is the thing that you guys need to understand. There are games that you can play here. We did a Bitcoin long at this point perfectly. Right? There's a lot that can be played and a lot that can be earned and a lot that can be understood. And I'll say this, right? By the time, if this thing does go into what we described as a bear market area, right? When we get down to these lower levels, crazy lower level areas, right? And chops, it potentially could even wick down to the 55, but I doubt that, right? Around here, it will most probably settle. When we get to these areas, you will be, that moment there is when you need to lock in. You need to be there when you that's the moment you lock in and you place yourself and settle yourself and find the next narratives at this point. Because if you do, the move that will happen, the next move that will happen up, you will be making stupid returns. Stupid. That's what I will say to you guys. It's my opinion. I'm telling you, not if you don't want to do it, don't do it. In fact, don't listen to what I'm saying. I'm just a person that's sitting here. But I'm saying to all of you guys that want to actually see that, to be a part of what could be one of the most unbelievable liquidity events of a lifetime, that will what I would say. The only thing that could spoil is if there is a catastrophic failure in every aspect of tariffs fail, inflation skyrockets, Japan fails, a whole bunch of other industries start cracking down, then this will be one of the biggest corrections you'll see, and it can go down to 28 and it'll sit there. There's always that risk. We're trying to catch something, right? We're trying to catch something right now that will give us 10, 20, 30, 40x. Anything that is on that level is massive risk. Massive risk, right? Absolute massive risk. The only way that Japan can fix this is if that stimulus starts building up growth. But at the same time, they bring in a buffer where in which that rate hike will not affect the carry trade. This is the only way that that's going to be done, and it's going to be very, very difficult. It is so... Look, I need you guys to understand. There's 15... Japan, due to its 0.5% interest rate loans, it doesn't exist in the world, right? That type of loan does not exist in the world. Because of that type of loans that they are basically financing $15 trillion worth of investments around the world. Them going under is a world event, not just America. America will feel it the most because it's the strongest economy out there. So people put that money to work in an economy that's relatively safe and has a somewhat understanding of a return that you get from it. It's really important to understand that. These things are serious worries. There's serious liquidity worries in the market. There's serious... A lot of things are very serious at the moment, but there will be a point where this all changes. There will be a point. And I'll say a catalyst, if Powell comes out and says, "Hey, look, I think that we do need to cut," this you will see that counter rally then. You'll see it then, and that'll be a moment that you can make some lovely gains up and lovely gains back down again if it goes there. That's it. That is the way you have to play this. It's a trader's market right now. And then once we get into what if we get there, not saying we're going there, if we get to this level where we're on a full blown bear market territory, then there is the moment that you start actually allocating your finances. That's what I'll be doing. I will be, and I don't like talking in this manner because it really bothers me. But I'm talking house levels of money. I'm talking serious amounts of my net worth I will be putting into this market. And if you want to join me on that journey, please do. But I'm doing what I'm doing, and if you guys follow me and it doesn't work out, it has to be your choice to do it. I'm not saying I want to do that. I just want everyone to understand that, to be clear on that note. It's really, really important that everyone understands that. Now, people in X, you guys, if you like, there's 208 people there, and I've only had 8 people reposts. Can we get like 10 more? Get me 10 more reposts. You guys, I mean, I don't ask anything of you guys, just the repost. That's it. So we can get more people in here and get some more traction in the channel. That's it. That's all I will say. Right? And in the meantime, if you want to in the next 6 months get into a group where and it's like, I'm not saying it. If you go onto my Instagram, you'll see I put the P&Ls in the stories there. Go follow this as well. You see the P&Ls there. The P&Ls are all there, right? And there we go. Just to summarize, you think a bounce to the 100K and then depends on if we get good news pumped to all. No. It doesn't work that way. I'll say it again. Right? Where we're sitting right now, we could wick all the way down to the 65. It's very possible to the 200-day moving average. I'm talking about the weekly here, because the reason why is that we're going to be closing three body candles in the red, weekly candles in red. This is a confirmation of a downtrend, like hardcore downtrend. If we get at this present moment, and I'm still saying around December, sticking by December, I think around that time, if we get some positive news, either towards rate cuts or this Japan thing or stimulus checks or something that is related around liquidity, so it can give people the strength to go a little bit risk on, then I expect this to rally up towards the 50-day moving average, which is actually at 99,300, right? Need to move this down a little bit. Let's just say that, right? In fact, a bit more down. 98,003. 98,000. Yeah, around that. 98,300. Does that match with anything where we're going right now? 98,003, right? And that's that situation where we are. That's what's happening. I'll come on to the Bitcoin dominance as well. I'll explain my thoughts on that. This doesn't mean it's what it is. So please make your own mind up. I have to say this after everything, because the amount of hate I got was wild. It's like I went and punched their mother or something. I'm not joking. It's like I went there and slapped their mother, and they were coming back to me and getting all angry. I was like, gee, like, honestly. Whereas everyone here should realize that what they do with their funds is their own choice. Yeah, I know that, but everyone can know that. But they still, I'm the guy that gets the hate because no one else is here. No one else is here streaming. So I'm like the one that gets the hate from everywhere. I think also other people are scamming with my name, because there was that comment on my ex that was like, "Oh, nice copycat account," and I was like, "What? What are you talking about? I don't know what that was about. That was weird." Super weird. Like, it's super duper weird what was going on. I think they actually genuinely think that I think they actually genuinely think that I stream. I don't want to laugh, right? I don't want to laugh, right? I don't want to say something bad, but I genuinely think I I scam people and then I go live. I genuinely think that's what they think I'm doing. I go, uh, honestly, it's like I'm sitting there going, yeah, yeah, brother, yeah, 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 buy this something, and then I go, all right, cool, hey guys, I'm live. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. Anyway, whatever, cool. Also, look, there's something really, really cool coming. I was on the phone with someone, and what they're creating is incredible, right? I'm not gonna give too much information about it yet, but I'll give you what they're doing. They're doing the first wallet to wallet like phone call aspect, and at the same time, they're creating these sort of like Skype type of communities where you can launch projects and talk about projects and little pockets of things that only actual wallets can join. So everyone knows each other's wallets, and you can actually have interactions between each other, like wallet to wallet chat. And what's really cool is that you can call another wallet or send another message to another wallet, but the other side, the only way for them to message you is that you accept it and you get a payment from the person messaging you. So if, for example, if you want to talk to a whale from a project, you can actually send a request, and if that whale accepts, again, they earn money from it. It's really, really fun. It's a super cool thing. The last project went to like 500 million. It's an awesome thing. I'm going to try and see if I can get you guys in as early as possible if you're interested. Anyway, that's another point. Now, where was I? Yeah, look, that's the situation, right? So this is I find you guys, but it looks like you said we might bounce to 98 K. My boy is alive. Thank the Lord you stayed. Yeah. I'm just because someone messaged me, and I couldn't. They were like, I don't know, I've lost my job. I don't have enough money to go into the pro group and this and the other. Like, how do I watch your lives? And I was like, oh man, like, and I was like, okay, look, I'm not gonna let a bunch of like haters spoil it for people who try and get some form of information from me. Like whatever, it's cool. And I'm gonna see if there's a way I can get more people into that group without. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I'll try and do something because I want everyone to gain as much as they can from it. So this is where I am, right? So what's happening is that if we get some form of positive news, why don't you name and shame haters? I don't want to create that. I'm not that type of person. If they want to do that, they want to do that. It's all right. It's so cool. It's probably part of the reason why I got banned as well. They were probably just like account botting my account, and then the hacker came and all this kind of stuff. So this is where we are, right? What's your opinion on stop losses? It's annoying. Look, there are certain exchanges that will do shady things. I don't usually like to do stop losses, right? I don't usually like to do stop losses, but I try and put them into trades in the pro group because sometimes it can run away, right? Something can happen, it can run away. Like, for example, I'll give you the example of the trade that I put in. Where was the goat short? Here. Look at that graph. Oh man. Oh Jesus, right? So I did a goat short. That's a statement. And I put the stop loss, right? Check this out, right? So we were I think here, and I put the stop loss just above the previous level of resistance, right? So I put it around there. But what happens sometimes is that platforms know where you put your stop losses, right? So and the thing is, I need to teach this to you guys, and I'm going to try and do it from now on from all the trades. What happens is that when the exchanges know where you put your stop loss, they know it, right? And they know that the maximum level of where they go for the stop losses to come. And then what they will do is that they will get up to here, clear out all the stop losses, and then let the market do what it needs to do. So I put the stop loss around here, right? I got stopped out and it went up a few ticks more, like 5% more, and then absolutely nuked. So one of the people in the group didn't put the stop loss, which is the best thing. Unfortunately, turned out to be the best thing, and he made like 150, 160% on this trade. So what I'm gonna do now, and what usually is a good thing to do, right? And this is something that I've learned throughout all my time in this trading, is put your trade where you think your stop loss should be. So if I had put the trade where I put the stop loss, right, which was around here, it's around here, yeah, around there, right, yeah, exactly there. If I put the trade there and put the stop loss where I would have put there above here at that point, then would have been good. So I'm gonna do that from now on, right? Sometimes I close trades manually while driving. Yeah, that could happen. Yeah, a lot of people do that. You just have to be vigilant. But that trade that we did, structurally where I put it, it should have been a short. These wicks that go above are exchanges messing around with stop losses. Those are what are called scam wicks, right? Those are these type of wicks. But I expect this thing all the way to go down to the 2848. So stop losses might enter. Sometimes that's good. I'm gonna try and do it that from now on. So where I will put the entry points will be the points of where I would normally put a stop loss, and we'll see the difference from there. The trade was sound, and some people made money because they didn't put the stop loss in there. But I guess at least he got stopped out. You didn't lose too much, right? But right, that's that situation. Now, what was I talking about? The bounce to 98. Yeah, okay. So the bounce to 98, and I'll explain this to you as well, right? If you get positive news, I'm assuming around the December, I think it's gonna be choppy around here for a while, right? Because we are I mean, if you look at the liquidity map here, it's a joke. Like, I don't understand how people are still look at that. What the fuck is that? What's that? Can someone explain to me what that is? That is dirty. I don't know why you don't have more followers. I don't know. Yeah, well, so I need to join the pro group. If you want to, Steve, you don't need to. No one needs to. I'm telling you, no one needs to. I'll explain to you. The pro group is $50 a month, 3 months minimum. I'm explaining to you all open here. If you guys want to see that value, go for it. It's not just trades. It's market analysis, market news, gold trades. The gold trade guy is coming. He's on holiday at the moment, skiing in Lapland. I didn't know you could ski in Lapland, but he's in Lapland at the moment. So that's why the gold thing is coming. It's the same thing with Batman. Batman was away and he came in as a Dark Knight. I make promo between my friends to follow you and learn from you. What does that mean? Master, I don't know what that means. Send them links for my lives. Oh, that's so kind. Very, very kind. Where are you from? Master, where are you from? That's an interesting... no, Madge store. I'll check it if by in a bit. Yeah, it's up to you. Yeah. So, Slovenia. Ah, cool. Nice. I love Slovenia. What was I going to say? Yeah, so the amount of also the liquidity is 130. I mean, if we actually go to the full let's go larger time scale. I mean, like there is massive levels of liquidity. Massive levels over there. Dennis Sabic. Ah, fantastic. Great. There's massive levels of liquidity above. There is no liquidity left on the bottom side. It's a ghost town. I remember the last time this happened. Remember when we had that complete clean of that wick? We got this massive run back up. There's going to be a point where this happens. And anyone that says it doesn't has a 10 to 15% chance to be correct, right? There is still a chance that this thing can, the world could end all of a sudden and nuke aggressively, like world-class nuking. It can happen, right? It could really, really happen. Oh, wow. 282 people on X. Amazing. Can I get like 10 more retweets, please? like that. Just press that retweet button. Let's get it to 25. That would be very much appreciated. It'll mean a lot if you guys do that. I don't want anything from you. I just like want that. That's it. Where was I? Where was I sitting? Yeah, so that's that situation where we're sitting. Now, the one worry that I have is MicroStrategy has broken its what we would describe as that trend there, right? That trend level at the, because again, this is a leverage bet of that. But this also, a previous cycle had that bounce, that secondary bounce as well. And I'm assuming that secondary bounce is where we're going to be achieving this. The problem is it's broken that. It did it last time as well. It did break that trend last time as well. So let's see what happens on that side. Now, did something just disappear all of a sudden? Now, if you look at the S&P 500, right? It's sitting. I mean, it hit both levels. Trump speaking? What do you mean Trump speaking? Where's Trump speaking? Was he speaking about how amazing his schlong is? By the way, everyone on the tube, I would appreciate it if you guys could follow and press the bell button and like and all that kind of stuff. It helps with the algorithm. It means a lot if you guys can do that. I feel like I'm begging all the time. Let me just see. Is Trump speaking? Right now. Speaking about what, though? And I sent you a link on X. I'm looking at YouTube. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. What's he speaking about? What's this guy speaking about now? He's speaking about the Mandami. Is this right?
It sounds like you had a productive discussion.
Wait, is Mandami next to him?
President Trump is a despot who betrayed the country. You said you'd be his worst nightmare and accused him of having a fascist agenda. Are you planning to retract any of these remarks in order to improve your relationship?
Is this real?
President Trump and I, we are very clear about our positions and our views, and what I really appreciate about the president's meeting that we had,
This can't be
focused not
real.
on places of disagreement, which there are many, and also focused on
Is
the
this
shared
real?
purpose that we have in serving New Yorkers. And frankly, that is something that could transform the lives
Oh
of
my
8.5
God, this
million
can't be
people who
real.
are currently struggling under a cost of living crisis, with 1 in 4 living in poverty. And the meeting came back again and again.
Can you guys
to what
hear it
could look
properly?
like to lift those New Yorkers out of struggle and start to deliver them a city that they could do more than just struggle to afford it, but actually start to live in it.
And I've been called
What do you mean
much
share the
worse
screen? It's
than
there.
a despot, so it's not that insulting. Maybe I think he'll change his mind after we get to working together. Yes, please.
Mr. President, I'm Hamish Hassan from MTV Lebanon.
Good.
I would like to ask you a question about the Middle East.
This is so awkward. This is so awkward.
In a good position. And Lebanon now is the final unresolved after Gaza and Syria.
This can't be
Given your
real.
assessment, guys, what do you say for the Middle East?
Oh man, you guys are amazing, man. You made me laugh.
And what is your
This is so weird.
disarmament? The disarmament.
Sure. Well, we are pushing for total disarmament of Hamas and, frankly, everybody else. And we actually have peace in the Middle East. As you know, the King of Saudi Arabia just left yesterday. We had some great meetings, and he's made a contribution toward the United States of more than $1 trillion. We have now
Trillion.
over $20 trillion coming in.
I like how he's moved
no
away from
country's
billion.
ever had anything like that, not even
Is all
close.
this missing is this.
If you go to $2 trillion or $1
$1
trillion, it's a lot. We have 20 or 21 trillion dollars.
They literally hate. I
think
mean,
that,
hate?
Hezbollah.
I don't
has been a
understand how they're in the
problem,
same
and Lebanon's a big
room.
problem.
That
We're working
tension,
with Lebanon, we're
yowza.
working with everybody in the Middle East. That's another thing I think we have in common. We want to see peace in the Middle East, and we actually have now, for the first time, peace in the Middle East after 3,000 years. And now we're going to refine it, and I think you're going to see some very positive things happen.
There is a potential to invite the Lebanese president.
Oh, sure. Oh, I would do that, absolutely. And if the mayor would like to be here for that meeting, because I know he feels very strongly. I think you feel very, very strongly about peace in the Middle East. I think it's,
We desperately want it, and that's something that I shared with the president, that when I spoke to New Yorkers who had voted for the president last November on Hillside Avenue and Fordham Road, I asked them why. I heard again and again 2 major reasons. One was that they wanted an end to forever wars. They wanted an end to the taxpayer dollars we had funding violations of human rights, and they wanted to address the cost of living crisis. And I appreciated the chance to discuss both of those things.
he said a
He's
lot
the
of
mayor
my
of New York.
voters
Yeah,
actually
he's the mayor of
voted
New
for
York.
him,
He won.
1 in 10.
And I'm okay
Otherwise,
with
why
that.
would he be here?
I'll do that. I'll sign it. Give it to me. I'll sign it in a minute. That's pretty good.
Mr. President,
Yeah, please.
you threatened to send federal troops to New York City. You both have.
What are the chances they've been in the sauna together?
Right.
In New York City, Mr. Mamdani, you called ICE a rogue government entity. I wonder how you reconcile your differences on both of those issues.
Well, I think we're going to work them out, and I think that.
What are the chances
we have
of
known
Ben
murderers
Nami walking
and known
into
drug
to the
dealers
sauna
and
while Donald
some
Trump is
very bad
naked?
people.
The guy mean, let's
We
talk
want to get them
business.
out, and the mayor wants to have peace. We discussed this at great length, actually, maybe more than
Together
anything
in the
else.
sky bunker,
He wants to have a safe New York. Ultimately, a safe New York is going to be a great New York. If it's not
There's no
safe, no matter
feedback,
how
right? You
well
guys
we
can
do
hear
with
it properly.
pricing and with anything else, we can talk about anything you want. If you don't have safe streets, it's not going to be a success. So we're going to work together. We're going to make sure that if there are horrible people there, we want to get them out. I think he wants to get them out, maybe more than I do. So we'll work together. We discussed it at great length. Yes, please.
Yeah, two questions, if I may. One for you, Mr. President, from BBC in a second. But first of all, to the mayor-elect. You're both from different parts of the political spectrum. You're both populists, though. And I just wondered to what extent the president's campaign style, his techniques, his social media use inspired any part of your campaign.
Well, I actually told the president that, so much of the focus of our campaign has been on the cost of living crisis. And when we
Really?
asked those
Was the
New
focus
Yorkers
of your
who had
campaign-
voted for the president, when we saw an increase
Was the focus
in
of your
his
campaign
numbers in
just
New York
about-
City, that came back to the same issue: cost of living, cost of living, cost
Just
of living.
about cost of living,
and they
right?
spoke about
It
the
had
cost of
nothing to do with this
groceries, the
dude.
cost of rent, the cost
This
of
guy was not-
Con
it had
Ed,
nothing to
the
do
cost
with
of
this guy.
childcare. And too often, politicians are looking to lecture to New Yorkers what they should care about, as opposed to listen. And when we spoke to those voters who voted for President Trump, we heard them speak about cost of living.
Did
we
they-
focus
did
on
they-
that same
did they
cost
vote
of
for
living, and that's
President
where
Trump? Did
I
they?
am really looking forward to
Did they
delivering
now?
for New Yorkers in partnership with the president on the affordability agenda.
Oh my
I
God!
think we have to work a
The
little bit.
ass
We talked
kissing
about
is
Con Edison. We
world
have to work
class
a
at this
little bit
present
getting
moment.
The prices, because we've gotten fuel prices way down, but it hasn't shown up in Con Edison. And we're going to.
He's really covering that. Look at the grip he has on that hand. He's white knuckling it at the
much lower
moment.
price than it was a
Full
year
white
ago, which is
knuckle.
true. We have to get Con Edison to start lowering the rates.
Absolutely.
And if I may, last week you told me you were pushing ahead with your plans to sue BBC for up to $5 billion. You're going to speak to Prime Minister Starmer as well. Is there any progress or any updates on those issues?
Well, we get along very well with the Prime Minister. We made a deal with UK. I like him. He's a fine person. And, I think they have some big energy problems. They've got windmills all over the place. They're going to have to start using other methods because their energy is out of control. Talking about in the UK, it's out of control. And he's got that problem. He's got a big immigration problem, as you know. He's got a big energy problem. And we talk about it. He's a good man. Prime Minister's a good man.
Some things worried they won't move with.
I haven't
Bitcoin.
spoken this way.
And if there is a cap bounce. Yeah, I mean, I can see where you're coming from. It
Who?
depends, man. It really depends on your thing. If you're going to be out and out
I've
forever,
spoken
then
with their
do what you
people.
need to
We
do.
have a plan. It's horrible what's happening. It's a war that should have never happened. It would have never happened if I was president, and it's a shame. And I thought they should have acted quicker. But it's a cold winter, and a lot of the you talk about utilities, but a lot of the big energy producing plants have been under attack, to put it mildly, to put it nicely. Yeah, we have a way of getting peace, or we think we have a way of getting peace. He's going to have to approve it. Just so sad, so many people. Last month they lost 25,000 soldiers. This is something, we haven't seen anything like this since the Second World War. They're averaging 6,000 or 7,000 a week between the two of them, dead soldiers. And it goes on and on. And I think they're getting reasonably close. But I don't want to predict. I would have said that would have been one of my early ones. I did 8 peace deals of countries, including in India, Pakistan. You could even go, in fact, they're coming here in a week or two, go to the Congo and Rwanda. That was 10 million people dead. And we worked something out on that, but so many. And the one I thought would have been, for me, because I have a very good relationship with President Putin, I thought that would have been maybe quicker. But it does take 2 to tango. And now,
I didn't know that. Do we have a windmill problem?
And it doesn't affect us other than the fact that we don't want to see all those people that really it's on the other side of the ocean.
I mean, we have other problems. I've never heard of a windmill problem in my life.
I blame the person also sitting right
Do you
behind
look at
this desk.
liquidation heat maps for
This is a
Wales?
war that
Surely
should have never
there's,
happened, and it
there's
wouldn't have
one
happened
MM
if I
would
were
want to
president.
take,
But we're trying
like,
to save a lot of lives. We're
more.
they're losing 25, think of that, 25,000 lives
Sorry?
over the last short period of time. That's Ukrainian and Russian.
I do look at liquidation heat maps,
uh,
yeah, but I don't understand
it's a
why it
shame.
would take There's no liquidations left underneath this level. What is he talking about? What does he have to do with New York? I have no idea. No. We have a windmill problem apparently. I'm going to check it out. I didn't know that we had a windmill problem.
Despite his endorsement of you. What's your reaction to that?
I have to be honest with you, I focused very little on resolutions. Frankly, I've been focusing.
On New York.
I understand.
Yeah.
I think the focus is
'Cause
on
that's
the
his
work
job.
at hand. I can tell you I am someone who is a democratic socialist. I've been very open about that. And I know there might be differences about ideology, but the place of agreement is the work that needs to be done to make New York City affordable. That's what I look forward to.
And I want to clarify that your answer to Stephen Nelson. He asked about
Probably.
your
I think it's the
comment
wind.
on
Yeah,
President
the internet
Fascist.
goes from the wind.
And your answer was, both President Trump and I have been clear about our positions and our views. Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about.
That's okay, you can just say
Okay.
yes. Okay, it's easier.
Yes.
And Mr. President, I wanted to ask you also about
question.
the Ukraine plan.
Yeah.
President Zelensky said today that
How'd you answer that
his country would risk
question?
giving up a partner or giving up its
Are you
dignity.
confirm?
There's been criticism
Are you
that
confirming? Is
You
it
mean he
fashion?
doesn't like it?
It's unclear. He was sort of
Well,
pretending it's
he'll have to like it.
Are
And
you-
if
are
he
you
doesn't
confirm-
like it, then, you
are
know,
you
they should
confirming
just
he's
keep
a fan?
fighting, I guess, you
The
know.
suggestion that you made, though, was that if he doesn't accept it,
Oh, God, that's
that
so
the US
dumb.
would pull back its support for Ukraine. Is that
Well, at some
accurate?
point, he's going to have to accept something, you know. He hasn't accepted. You remember right in the Oval
UK
Office.
grid is not
so
capable
long
to
ago.
receive so much energy from
I
the
said, "You
wind
don't have
tower,
the
so they
cards."
oftentimes. I didn't know that. Oh,
Don't forget,
okay.
I inherited this war. I would have never, this war never would have happened. I inherited this war. And I thought he should have made a deal.
So mean. By the way,
year
I think,
ago.
is there a delay in what
years
I'm
ago.
saying?
The ultimate
So if
deal
I
would
was
have
to
been if it
say
never started. That would
press
have been the good deal. That could have
one
been done.
now,
He
you
didn't
would
have the
press
right
one.
president.
That's
The cost of living
How much
is
of a delay is
something
there?
that you and Mr.
Okay, never
Mamdani
mind.
seem to agree on.
Right.
Democrats have run New York City for a long time, Mr. Mamdani.
Wow, that's a massive
Do
delay.
you see Democrat policies
How much of a delay is there?
being a problem? And I'd like that to be a question that both of you could answer in New York City.
Look, I think that there are many things in our city where we have to own the responsibility of it, things that existed long before the president was the president. And those are also part of the message of our campaign, was to take on a broken politics of the past. And I ran against a number of candidates who represented different versions of that past. And what we found time and again is that working people were left behind in the politics of our city. And what we're looking to
Come
do
and
is
tell me
put those
better than
people
they are.
right back at the heart of our politics so that we don't have
But
a
the voice is
situation where
okay.
we're in the wealthiest city in the history of the world, and yet 1 in 5 can't even afford $2.90 for a Metro card.
Mr. President,
You know, we had some interesting conversation, and some of his ideas really are the same ideas that I have. But a big thing on cost, you know, the new word is affordability. Another word is just groceries. You know, it's sort of an old-fashioned word, but it's very accurate. And they're coming down high. They were,
Are the eggs down?
you know, we had, both of us,
Is he
we
gonna say
had the
eggs?
highest inflation in the history of our country. in
Is
the
he gonna
last
say
4
eggs?
years under the Biden administration. And we've got inflation down now to a
5-second
normal
delay
number. It's going to
fee.
go even
Wow.
a little bit lower than that. Katie, do you have something in it?
Mr. President, thank you so much. Mr. Mamdani often talks about New York City being
25 seconds, really?
law, that they will follow international law. Doesn't often talk about
Is there that much of a delay from Kick? I need to sort out why there's that much of a delay.
Well, I don't know what you're referring to in terms of it could be covered by international law, local law. It's covered by a lot of laws. And,
Oh, wow.
But
Okay, I need to try
it's
and sort
covered
that-
by U.S.
that
law.
delay out. I don't
Are
know
you
why that's the
referring to
case.
anything in particular?
He just says that they're a city that endorses and enforces international law. Is that at odds with?
No, I don't know. Would you want to? Do you want to respond? To
Yeah,
that?
I think what I've shared with the president
53
is
seconds.
our
Why did
desire
someone have
to
28
not only
second delay?
follow the laws of our own city, laws that protect New Yorkers, but also a desire for consistency in our politics across the board. And that's something that we've talked about and something that I know many New Yorkers want.
So you were with
transfer
ICE?
that. I don't know why that's-
I've-
We were with ICE then?
We discussed ICE and New York City, and I spoke about how the laws that we have in New York City allow for New York City government to speak to the federal administration for about 170 serious crimes. The concerns that many New Yorkers have are around the enforcement of immigration laws on New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs, and most recently we're talking about a mother and her 2 children, how this
It is
has
much as
very
fast,
little
yeah.
to do with what that is.
Mr. Mamdani,
What we did is we discussed crime, more than ICE per se. We discussed crime, and he doesn't want to see crime, and I don't want to see crime, and I have very little doubt that
Yeah,
we're not
so
going to get along on
spamming
that
with those laugh
issue. He
emojis.
wants to.
Oh, yeah, that's-
and he said
all
some
right,
things
so
that were
we-
very
yeah.
interesting as to housing construction, and he wants to see houses go up. He wants to see a lot of houses created, a lot of apartments built, etc. And you know, we actually people would be shocked, but I want to see the same thing.
Mr. Mamdani, anti-Israel protesters.
Jack.
Mr. President, I wanted to know, one of the policies as well that Mayor-elect Mamdani talked a number of times about on the campaign was shifting the tax burden for property taxes from what he called minority communities to white-based communities and putting more taxes on white people. I also noticed that in your acceptance speech you didn't mention anything about America or
Oh, they're best
Christians or
friends
white
now.
people in general.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if that was one
The
of
best
policies
buds.
that you guys had spoken about.
We focused on affordability. We focused on the cost of living crisis. What I will say is that I am very
going
much
to
interested in
happen.
property
Sorry,
tax
don't
reform
see us moving
because what we
that
see
quick.
right now in New York
There's
City
no
is a
positive
system
news.
that
What do you
is
mean?
so inequitable that it can't even stand up in court.
Oh, I think.
And the president and I spoke
Oh,
about the
I
importance
know what's going
of not
on.
only
You
building
guys need
more
to
housing,
scrub
but also
forward on
making sure that
YouTube.
regulation
Because
of
there's
housing is
previous
something
play.
that
If you can
is
push it all the way to the
manageable
forward
actually get through and
to
not
the front,
the cause of yet another weight that we see in our city.
then you'll be able to see exactly, like, up to date with where I am. That 28 seconds
to be
means
very
that you
clear,
guys have to scrub forward.
The use of the term was a
It means
description
you've
of
entered
neighborhoods,
in
not a
it
description of
previously,
intent.
after I started.
Tax the whiter neighborhoods more.
No, we intend to create a fair property tax system because we want a New York City that is not only fair and equitable, but also one that every New Yorker can afford.
Mr. Mamdani, anti-Israel
They're like best buds. Mandami, what have you done?
Please, God.
My man.
Anti-Israel protesters just targeted a synagogue in New York. Are you concerned that Jewish New Yorkers feeling welcome and safe in the city? And President Trump, you threatened to cut off federal funding to New York City. What policies?
What kind of stupid question is that, honestly?
Run grocery stores would be something else.
Well, I think if we didn't get along, whether it's cut off or just make it a little bit difficult or not give as much, we want to see, I use the term, we don't want good money going after bad. And,
Did you just say test?
we don't want that to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. I did say that, subject to what policies are being set. We had a meeting today that actually surprised me. He wants to see no crime. He wants to see housing being built. He wants to see rents coming down, all things that I agree with. Now, we may disagree how we get there. The rent coming down, I think
About 6
one
seconds,
of the things I really
There's gonna be a
gleaned
bit of a
very,
delay, no matter what.
very much today, he'd like to see him
Can you
come down,
repeat?
ideally
Yeah,
by
no.
building a lot of additional housing.
Yeah.
Well, you don't
That's
like
the
Mandami?
ultimate way. He agrees with that, and so do I. But if I
Wait,
read the
there's 2 people here that
newspapers
could
and
be
the
that.
stories, I don't hear.
Doctors, what do
I don't
you
hear
like
that.
Mandami or Trump?
But I heard him say it today, and I think that's a very positive step. No, I don't expect. I expect to be helping him, not hurting him. A big help, because I want New York City to be great. Look, I love New
There
York
were
City.
guys
It's where I
that
come
want to
from.
be
I
like,
spent a lot of
that's why
years
they're
there.
getting
Now,
along. Yeah, but
I'm
it's
right
surprising
here.
how much of a buddy
We took a
system.
big setback with the mayor that we had, Dave de
They
Blasio.
kept that in the
I
chat
thought it was
emojis. Oh, yeah.
Tremendous
I kinda
setback for
get
the
with
city.
that.
I think this
Okay.
mayor can do some things that are going to be really great.
Aha!
Mr. President, Mr. President,
Yeah, okay, how about you? Go ahead,
Thank you, Mr.
please.
President. You're a billionaire. You have a different address nowadays than you used to. But you used to call New York
There isn't the
City
worst
home.
UK accent.
Would you
They're
feel
all accents have
comfortable living in New
their
York City under a
positive
Mamdani
points.
administration?
Yeah, I would. I really would. Especially after the meeting. Absolutely.
What makes you comfortable?
We agree on a lot more than I would have thought. I think I want him to do a great job, and we'll help him do a great job. He may have different views, but in many ways, we were discussing when Bernie Sanders was out of the race, I picked up a lot of his votes, and people had no idea because he was strong on not getting ripped off in trade and lots of the things that I've practiced and been very successful on.
No, Broom is
tariffs,
good. I
a lot
like
of
Broom.
things. Bernie Sanders
Broom
and
accent is
I
amazing.
agreed on much more than people thought. And
It's fun.
when he was put out of the race, I think quite unfairly, if you want to know the truth, many of the Bernie Sanders voters voted for me. And I felt very comfortable, frankly, in seeing that and saying that. And, it just turned out to be a statistical truth. But, no, I feel very comfortable. I would feel very, very comfortable being in
This
New
is so
York, and I think
it's
much more
so
so after the
strange.
meeting. Yes, please.
It's so surreal watching these two.
Very quick one for
Together.
Why did you fly here? Aren't trains greener?
I will use every form of transit, and I want to make sure that they're all affordable in New York City, and that's why making buses fast and free is a centerpiece of our campaign.
There is a bus that
Well,
goes.
but I know, but if he flew, that's a lot quicker too. No? You know, I mean, he's working
ask
very
him
hard. For him to be,
how
that's a
he
long,
got
that's a
there.
very.
Well, is he gonna
that's
walk
a
to
very
Washington
long
D.C.
drive. I'll
from
stick
New
up
York?
for you. You know, the plane takes
Is he
30
gonna take a
minutes and
bus?
driving takes you
And
almost.
Do you think he's gonna take a bus to Washington D.C.?
Confusion around a Washington Post
How did this
report
happen? I have no
that
idea,
says explosive
but it's a
reports that
unique
Coast Guard
scenario
is
that
no
we're in.
longer going to characterize swastikas and
They're not
news as
beefing. They're like best friends.
DHS called that a lie and fake news. Can you
Maybe they did a
clarify
bubble
I
on
don't
each
know
other.
anything
Could
about it.
be.
When was this written?
yesterday?
Well, look, the Coast Guard's an incredible group of people. I know them very well. We just ordered a lot of new Coast Guard cutters. Beautiful, the most
Yeah,
magnificent.
they're
ships.
best
They look
buds
like
now.
yachts
It's
with
so
lots of
weird. You
guns
can
on
feel
them.
like the buddy feeling over
So I don't know.
next
I
to each
haven't
other.
seen any report like that, but certainly we want them to remain a great force, and they are.
Mr. President, and you did a piece in all the 9 months around the world. I would like to ask Mr. Mamdani, you've accused the U.S. government of committing genocide in Gaza. while President
There
Trump
has
was
to be that
working on
question.
peace. Why that?
I've spoken about the Israeli government committing genocide, and I've spoken about our government funding it. And I shared with the president in our meeting about the concern that many New Yorkers have of wanting their tax dollars to go towards the benefit of New Yorkers and their ability to afford basic dignity. And what we see right now is we're in the 9th consecutive year of more than 100,000 school children being homeless in our city. And there's a desperate need not only for the following of human rights, but also
I
the
do like
following
Mandami.
through
He's
on the promises
the
we've made to
way
New
he
Yorkers, and I appreciated
deflects
the meeting we had and
is
the
like
work that
it's
we
like a
can do.
masterclass.
President Trump did do a peace and worked hard to make the peace because he worked hard to do the peace in the Middle East and everywhere. Do you agree with that?
I appreciate all efforts towards peace, and I shared with President Trump that when I spoke to Trump voters on Hillside Avenue, including one of whom was a pharmacist that
guy's-
spoke about how
guy's
President Trump's father actually went to
masterful.
that pharmacy not too far from Jamaica Estates, that people were tired of seeing our tax dollars fund endless wars. And I also believe that we have to follow through on the international human rights, and I know that still today those are being violated, and that continues to be work that has to be done no matter where we're speaking of.
Mr. President,
God, he's man. I would vote for him.
As the true leader of the Democrat Party, and do you think Leader Schumer and Leader Jeffries, have to follow his lead?
Well, look, I hope they have great leaders. This is a man that right now I think is focused on New York City. I really think he has a chance to do a great job. We're going to help him,
go-
but I really think he has a chance to do a great job.
What did this
But I'll
guy
let
do
you
to
answer
Donald
that. You
Trump?
consider yourself the leader of
It's
the
a
Democrats.
do,
I think it's more
not a
appropriate for
say.
him.
This
I
is
consider myself
do.
the next mayor of New York City, and I keep my horizons
What
firmly
Mamdani is actually
on New York
thinking
City, and I
is like,
appreciate
right,
the
I'm
meeting
gonna
with the
kiss his
president,
ass
which
just
focused
enough
again on the 5 boroughs and
so I
whether New
look
Yorkers can
good.
afford to live there.
Right?
Being the
But in
mayor
real
of New York
fact, I'm
City
gonna try
is a
and like.
big deal. I always said, one of the things I would love to be someday is the mayor of New York City. Being the mayor of New York, and especially now, because I think you're at really a turning point, one way or the other.
He's dodging every
Go
question
great,
perfectly.
Or it can go in a different direction, and I think you really have a chance to make it great. And I appreciate what you're doing.
Mr. President, you said you love New York City. Mr. Mamdani, does New York City love President Trump?
New York City loves a future that is affordable, and I can tell you that there were more New Yorkers who voted for President Trump in the most recent presidential election because of that focus on cost of living, and I'm looking forward to working together to deliver on that affordability.
This
I
guy.
got a lot of votes. One more.
Oh
Go
my
ahead. One or
God,
two
this
more.
guy
Go
is
ahead.
amazing. This guy is
The press
amazing.
Has eaten this thing up. I've had a lot of meetings with the heads of major countries. Nobody
guy's
cared.
amazing.
This meeting, that you people have gone crazy. Outside you have hundreds of people waiting. This is just a small little group. For some reason, the press has found this to be a very interesting meeting. The biggest people in the world, they come over from countries nobody cares.
seen,
but they did care about this meeting, and it was a great meeting. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. President, I was going to ask you exactly that.
Have you
Why do you
seen
think there's so much more,
a message in LB
Because I think he's different.
T companies? No, I
All
haven't
right?
seen it.
I think he's
I'll check it out
different,
now.
and that can be in a very positive way. But I think he's different.
You shouldn't
than,
play poker. That
your
g-
typical
he's
guy runs,
he's a
wins, becomes mayor
master.
maybe, and
He's a
nothing
master at
exciting.
answering questions.
Because he has a chance to really do something great for New York. New York is at a very critical point, and he does need the help of the federal government to really succeed. And we're going to be helping him. But
Oh
he's
wow,
different than, your
I
average
am
candidate.
impressed,
He came out
bro.
of nowhere. I said He has a great campaign manager.
Telegram news
standing
chat. I'll
over
check that
there.
out in a second.
He came out of
If I gotta check it now.
He came out of nowhere. Would you start off at 1 or 2? And then I
Wait.
watched. I said, who is this guy? He was at 1, then he was at 3, then he was at 5, then he was at 9. Then he went up to 17. I said, that's getting a little bit interesting, right? And then all of a sudden he wins a primary that nobody expected he was going to win. It's a great tribute. I mean, it's an amazing thing that he did.
Which one are you looking at?
And I'll just add. I'll just add one thing
You
to
talk about
what
the
the
NVIDIA
president
news.
said. Is one thing I also appreciated is in our meeting to appreciate a portrait of FDR and the incredible work that was done with the New Deal, and also in thinking about what it can look like when the federal government and New York City government work together to deliver on affordability. It can be transformative.
You know, we have a great portrait of FDR that I found in the vaults that was missing for years. I found it, and I put it up. He's a Democrat, to the best of my knowledge. He's a Democrat. And when the mayor saw that portrait, he said,
What am
"Sir,
I
you mind
watching
if I have
right
a
now?
picture taken
Can
by
someone
that
explain
portrait?"
to
It's
me
an
what I'm
amazing
watching
portrait.
right
I hope
now?
The picture comes out good. But it's an amazing portrait in the cabinet room.
What
So
what's
he's a
what's
big fan
happening
of the
right
New
now?
Deal,
Can
I
someone
guess,
explain
and
this to me?
of FDR, yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. President. You said that you both spoke about crime.
Yeah.
There are many police officers set to come off the rolls at the end of this year in New York City. Are you going to allow those police to be
It's more than a
replaced with
bromance.
police
This is like
officers, actual cops? And are you going to
they're probably going to be
require that
texting each
happen
other
and maybe some
afterwards
consequences?
and like
Well, I hope
giggling.
it happens, but again, that's going to be ultimately the mayor's decision.
What's your answer?
Is that I look forward to delivering public safety with the NYPD, and I've said over the course of
Oh,
our
right, yeah, the
campaign
month
that
question, I remember.
we have the number of police officers today. They are the
What's that
ones
number?
that's budgeted about 35,000 headcount. And I think the key thing is that we have to make it easier for police to focus on police work, not ask them to respond to 200,000 mental health calls a year.
So is that a reduction from what you're at right now? Are you committing to maintaining the same level of cops?
I've committed over the course of the campaign to maintain the 35,000. That's the headcount that we had through the
And
campaign.
not replace them with caseworkers, social workers?
No, I've said that's the headcount that we want. What we need to do is make sure they can focus on serious crime.
And he just retained a great police commissioner, I believe, right?
Yes,
If
yes,
the-
we did. Commissioner
if
Fish.
If the newspapers are correct.
That
He
one
just-
they're correct about.
He retained, I think, somebody that is she's a good friend of some of the people in my family, of Ivanka, and they say she's really good, really competent, and he just retained her, so that's a good sign.
Are there still topics that you see the two disagreeing on in the future, and do you think you'll have more meetings like this?
There will be topics that we disagree on. I think we'll probably come to a conclusion, and ultimately, he'll convince me, or I'll convince him. You know, it's for the good of New York. Ultimately, it's for the good of New York. I don't care about affiliations or parties or anything else. I want to see if this city could be unbelievable. If he could be a spectacular success, I'd be very happy.
Do you think you guys will meet more in the future too?
See?
Do you think you'll meet again in the future, throughout the administration?
I think we will. Yeah. I think we will. I hope we do. I enjoyed the meeting. We had a great meeting. Please.
Mr. President, Republican Elise Stefanik has campaigned multiple times by calling Zohran Mamdani a jihadist. Do you think you're standing next to a jihadist right now in the Oval Office?
No, I don't. But she's out there campaigning, and you know,
I
you
need
say
to
things sometimes
confirm
in a
that
campaign.
is.
Isn't that sort of
She's a very capable person,
isn't
but
that a
you
label?
really have to ask her about that. But I don't particularly. I think I met with I met with a man who's a very rational person. I met with a man who really wants to see New York be
I
great
need
again.
to.
And I can say again.
I need to
because New
confirm
York
that.
was great. You know, when I
Because
came
if
down
that's
to
the case,
Washington
that's
initially,
catastrophic.
the city
That
was
can't
so
be
hot.
right.
It was doing great. We were having some telltale signs of problems. We had a mayor that was not doing a great job, but still, it was moving along, and it went bad. It really went, pretty bad. And he can. I think it's been at lower points, but it went pretty bad. I think he can bring it back. Now the question is, will he bring it back all the way? Will he bring it back greater than ever before? Which is, I guarantee, that's his wish. I think he wants to make it greater than ever before. And if he can, we'll be out there cheering. I'll be cheering for him. Okay? Thank you very much, everybody.
You chose not to answer the question about the city hall protest.
Thank you very much.
Oh, no, I care very deeply about Jewish safety, and I look forward to rooting out anti-Semitism across the 5 boroughs and protecting Jewish New Yorkers and every New Yorker who calls the City Hall. Very well.
God, these guys, they definitely doing giggle chats between each other. You know those giggle messages there. That's them. That's them at the moment. Jump through admins under the bus. The guy, pardon. No, yeah, I know. But all right. So this thing on Learn by Alvarez. If anyone wants to go and check it out, I need to confirm that. I cannot believe if that's the case. That would be more news than anything else. That would be. Let's see if this is new. As one of the stand by, sir. Okay. Digital asset treasuries. Sorry, I'm just trying to understand something. You know what? I'll try. What I'm gonna do. What I'll do is I'll put it up on the screen. I need to. 1 second. 1 second, because that if that is the. One second, I need to check something because if that is true, that would be a real. But the thing is, I can't seem to find it anywhere. All right, let me just put this up so you guys can read it. All right, let me put this up so you guys can see it. Okay, whatever. All right. Okay, let me. All right, here we go. All right. You guys can see it here. By the way, if you guys want to know, this is what the Learn by Alvarez. Let me forward it to you. I got it here. If that article is true, it could destroy crypto. It really could destroy crypto. I don't think it's. I can't believe that's the case. Right. So let me put this here, and I'll read it to you guys. Right. By the way, this is the Learn by Alvarez. You'll see this pad. You can see all the different things like calls, tweets, and all this kind of jazz on there. So you guys should go and follow it there. It's actually in the links below, and on X and on YouTube and everything else like that. You'll see the links, right? It's weird being able to say that because TikTok doesn't allow you to say that for some random reason. 1 second. 1 second. We're very interesting YouTube. What's this? Oh no, that's not it. Get the wrong person. Sorry, just what's his name? Just sent me a message. If that's the case, oh yes, thank you. Okay, look, it's here. If you go to the Learn by Alvarez news and macro, that's why I say, guys, join this. It's a really cool community, right? Really like awesome people in there. Like really nice, awesome people. It's just go to Learn by Alvarez. In fact, let me see if I can find the thing. Here we go. Just in fact, not even that. Let me see if I can do it this way. No, whatever. Okay, you just go to the news section of Learn by Alvarez. I'll put the link. By the way, you guys can find it on my link tree. In fact, I'll put it here. 1 second. 1 second. So I'm gonna put the link here. I'll paste it on the chat so you can see. You guys got it? You guys got it on the. I want you to analyze if it's true. Yeah, I know you read it in another group. I'm just gonna have a look. Can you explain all 5? Yeah, I'm gonna do it in a second. 1 second. Let me just put it into the chat. For the tube as well. Because if that would be a bigger thing than I would ever expect. Honestly, I'll put it in here. Like, there we go. If you guys go there, you can read it in the news section. But 1 second. Fact checked in your DM. You fact checked it. Did you? Suppose MSC is reviewing companies with large. All right. Okay. Let me just read it, and I'll read the reply. All right. Okay. Here. Why the market crashed on the October 10th? Finally explained. Here's the real reason crypto market nuked on October 10th and why still struggling to bounce. For weeks, nobody understood it. Today, the picture is finally clear. The DATs or the what's it called? Digital asset treasuries, right? Were one of the core drivers of this cycle. Companies like MicroStrategy, MSTR, BMNR, and other digital asset treasuries, DATs, have been one of the two major sources of sustained buy-side pressure this cycle. True. Their model is simple. Accumulate Bitcoin, grow their market cap, get included in major indices. Passive index funds are forced to buy their stock. Stock grows, they buy more Bitcoin, cycle repeats. This loop has been extremely bullish for Bitcoin. Second, number two, on October 10th, MSCI broke the cycle. On the exact day of the crash, 10 October, MSCI, the world's second largest index provider, released a report questioning should DATs companies be classified as companies or as funds. If they're considered funds, they cannot be included in major indices. Why? Because it creates a circular loop. True. Funds buy Bitcoin equals price increases, fund grows, and index includes passive funds buy and the funds grow more. Index providers avoid this dynamic. The consequence, MSTL, MicroStrategy, and other face forced removal. If MSCI reclassifies DATs as funds, MicroStrategy and similar companies would automatically be removed from their major indices. Pension funds, institutional portfolios, and passive index trackers could sell them immediately. The DAT model loses the main advantage, being forced bought by trillions in passive index flows. This existential for their business model. All right. Smart money knew immediately. The massive October 10th sell-off, not a coincidence. Big money instantly understood this risk. And if DATs lost index inclusion, Bitcoin lost one of the largest buyers, institutional positioning fast. Crypto began a controlled bleed with no significant bounce since. The key date, January 15th, 2026, is when the MSCI releases the final ruling. Two outcomes. Negative ruling, DATs kicked out of indices. Massive forced selling, Bitcoin takes a hit, likely final flush into the end of December, early January. Positive ruling, DATs stay classified as companies, no forced removal. Bull market resumes with strength. Smart money rotates back in aggressively. This MSCI ruling is now one of the biggest micro events of the crypto market. Bottom line, October the 10th crash finally makes sense. Yada, 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 yada. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to read what someone from the community gave us who fact-checked it. And I'm going to read this. All right, fact-check. A true supported. MSCI is reviewing companies with large crypto Bitcoin reserves, DATs, for potential exclusion from its indices, especially those with greater than 50% of their assets in crypto. The consultation began on the 10th of October 2025. Firms like MicroStrategy face this risk. Partially true. The classification question and the possible forced selling by index funds is a real risk and widely noted by analysts. Speculative on unproven that the crash on the 10th of October was primarily caused by the MSCI review and the DATs were a major buy-side driver for the crypto market cycle to the extent claimed. The exact future outcomes depending on this rule. I don't know. I need to look into this more, to be honest, because if MicroStrategy faces that issue, that's going to be a ginormous problem, right? but I don't know how I don't understand how they would be considered a fund. One sec. Why would they be considered a fund? Right. I don't understand how MicroStrategy would be considered a fund, though. Because a fund it's explained where they mentioned their business models actually makes sense. Yeah, no, but that's not necessarily their business model, because they're not taking fine. No, see, look, this is not really. They're not really a fund, though, because a fund is a financial investment model where they take people's money and then they invest it on their behalf. Whereas what MicroStrategy does is that it sells shares that they use the outcome of that to buy Bitcoin. So it's not really a fund. MicroStrategy is not really a fund. MicroStrategy is I mean, what they're doing is insanely risky, because what they're doing is they keep issuing shares where the money that they get from the share they buy Bitcoin. They're not investing a pot of money. That'd be wild if they get reclassified, and I don't think that's the reason why that happened. I don't think that's the reason why that happened, because let me have a look at something. Can someone search? Actually, let me search it now. Can someone search when this not the ruling, because the ruling, it said that it's not correct. When this classification understanding started. It's coming out now. It's everywhere now, this thought. And to see if the company could face. I need to read more through this, because I've never heard of this. Then consulting a new criteria that would excuse. I don't know. I mean, I need to read through it, but if that is it's in actually September. I just read it now. It started to, no, it's not on the 10th of October. It was started in September 2025. Interesting. I don't know. I need to read through this carefully. I need to read through this carefully to understand, because if that is true, although this gives me, if this is the worry right now and that's why this is selling off, it actually makes me more excited, because this gives me the same vibe of cryptocurrency securities. I would be very shocked if the US government would allow something like this to happen. I don't think that's going to be a problem. I would lean towards more that this is being done for them to accumulate more. That's what I would say. And it's a convenient way to understand that because the S&P 500 is also dipping as well. So to me, I think it's more of a causation rather than correlation rather than causation. It came out. It was done in September, so I think it's not a causation. It's a correlation to what's happening. I don't think it's an issue. I have a feeling that there is actually. I think that there is being misunderstood more in the sense of clarifying rather than destroying MicroStrategy. I mean, I guess that could be the reason why MicroStrategy had an enormous sell-off. Like, look at that. I need to read into this. That's interesting. Because if that's the case, I'm gonna be selling feet pics. I'll be full feet pic. All right, guys. What's up? I got some pretty feet to sell. Oh, Jesus. January 15th is close. It is. That would be very interesting to monitor. Interesting. I need to get my account back so I can start doing these type of videos so people can actually learn from this thing. Feet by Alvarez. That's right. I'm going to change it now. Feet by Alvarez. Feet by Alvarez. Cool. So if you guys want to buy any feet pics... All right, guys, look. It's been a longer stream. You guys have been amazing. It's incredible to all you guys on the tube. Very much appreciated. Thank you so much for joining. For all those people on X, wow, there's 464 people on there. Thank you so much. You guys are very kind. Very, very kind for being there and supporting everyone. I'd appreciate all the likes. I mean, if there's 466, if we could get 466 likes on X, that would be absolutely incredible. If you guys want to check out the pro group, you guys can. It's very easy. You just go to the links. I mean, like, you can actually see it here. Where are we now? Very nice. All right, you come here. You can see this link tree in it, Brev. You press that. What's up, Brev? And then you go down. That's my Instagram, and that's my see, open Telegram. Okay, it didn't open up, but you know what I mean. It opened up here, all right? Check this out. A whole bunch of news. Lots of great conversations going on here. All the cool stuff is here. You can see all the useful links and all the things that are beneficial for everyone here. And tweets, calls, and all that kind of stuff, all right? You guys are more than welcome to join. It's completely free and everything else on that line. All right? Anything else? Oh, one more thing I want to check out before I read this doomsday report that came out, is what is the Fed watch for rate cuts? Fed watch rate cut. What are we at the moment? What are we at? Let's play again. What are we at? What number are we at? Oh yeah, and happy birthday, Fat Cat. It's true. Over a year, my God. Actually, exactly a year. Can we join the can we join the pro group without going through the Telegram, please? I mean, it's on Telegram. The reason why I do it this way, right? The reason why I do it this way is because there's so many scammers out there that I want to be in full control of this thing. You literally message me and enemy. No one will message you back. No one will come after you. None of that thing. You go there, and I will. You'll see me. You'll see that it says admin next to my name. You go and message me there, and if you want to join, I will tell you everything of what to do and go from there. If someone messages you that's not me. If someone asks you for something, that's not me. If anyone is trying to take something or do something on that level, again, all together now, that's not me. All right. What is it? Okay. 73%. I mean, I'm not gonna look. I mean, I'm almost certain that Cryptus has already looked, so I'm assuming it's 73%. Oh no, it's 71%. Yeah, it's 71%, which is a good sign. Let's see. Some form of positive news is going to do a counter trend move. We will see what that is, and if that settles properly and it goes in that direction, we're all good. But I will say this again for everyone to make it nice and clear. For the record, I'm telling you, do not listen to got scammers as soon as I join the Telegram. It's amazing. It's constant, right? She tried to copy me today. Be careful out there, guys. Yeah. I'm telling you, do not. I'm telling you for the record, right? Unless you message me, and you can get me from my. That's why I say learn my algorithm, because I'm there. You can find my name there, and it says admin on the side. You can check everything, confirm it 10 times before you do anything or send any money, right? I will not message you. Right? I think about how much crypto Trump family owns. I still think that all of this kind of stuff is them to accumulate more. Keep an eye out for big buy orders, right? I'll say this. Unless I message you, unless you message me, I'm not messaging you. You will find my name on the Learn by Alvarez. Anyone else with my name, my likeness, anything else, and this is for X as well, because I've got a feeling someone got scammed from there. I genuinely think that someone got scammed from there, and then they came and was like, look at this, impersonator or whatever that crap is, right? That's not me, right? Anyone else that message, that's not me. Secondly, and I'm saying this for the record, it's recorded. Do not, under any circumstances, listen to what I'm saying. In fact, if there's a way you could extra not listen to what I'm saying, that would be much appreciated. Please make your own decisions. I'm not here to be the person that holds your hand. I will try and help out as much way as I can. I'll make it entertaining. I'll try and give you guys a good show. I'll try and give you all the possible aspects I can, and a little bit more help in the pro group. If not, come into the Learn by Alvarez group. Just enjoy, chat, and absorb the positivity that's there. Right? That's the reason why I wanted to do the live there, because everyone there is positive and helpful, and there isn't a community like it. If there is, I challenge you to find one. Show me. That isn't toxic. That isn't this sort of hunting mentality. Everyone there is to try and benefit each other, and I love that, and I'm so happy I have that, and I want everyone who wants to be around in that environment to be there. That's it. That's all I'm saying. There's 500 people on my X. There's only 30 people on my YouTube, which is wild. I would love all the X people to go to YouTube. That would be very kind if you do that. In fact, let me put the YouTube link in there. Just a follow. All I want is a follow. It's just like a nice little follow. Like what's up, man? What's up? Follow, bruv. What's up? You know what I mean? Can you do that? No? No? Computer says no? Okay, the computer says no. Let me share. How do I share this? How do I share my channel? Okay, there we go. I'll put it into the to the X so you guys can do that, and then I'll finally final shabubi out of this land, but no. There we go. Put that there, and I'll put that here. All right, okay, guys, very much appreciated. You guys are incredible. Thank you for a positive stream that's happened this time. It's very kind of all of you, and then we can go from there. All right. Any other questions? Last questions? Anything else I can help you with before I go to all that kind of stuff? Anywhere else? Please, if you guys can go and follow my YouTube, it would be very much appreciated. All right? No? Good? All right. Love. Peace. Bye. Catch you guys later.